Now it's time to move to perspective on the programme. And my guest today's book has been described as a lyrical and ambitious verse novel, a novel that won the August Prize, Sweden's most prestigious literary award. Aednan, an epic, or in French, Aednan Terre-Mère, tells the story of two families that vividly captures the plight of the Sami people. There are up to 100,000 of the indigenous Sami people who live on the northern part of the Scandinavian peninsula in Sweden, Norway, Finland and Russia. Its author, Linnea Axelsson, on the panel here in Paris for an evening of poetry which is being held here this evening. And she joins us now here on set. Thanks very much for coming in and talking to us on the programme, first of all. First of all, for those who don't know the Sami people, your people, tell us exactly who they are.
Well, it's the indigenous people of Europe in the north. So we live in the northern parts of Scandinavia, Norway, Sweden, Finland and Russia, and have been living there for a very long time.
And what's presumably the climate there incredibly harsh. I mean, what individual characteristics would you say there are of the Sami people?
Well, we have a tradition of being reindeer herders, a lot of us, so that the reindeer is very essential to the culture, and that has given us this nomadic lifestyle in our tradition. But of course, we're today as modern as anyone else, so it's a culture of, we've preserved a lot of our traditions and still have had this colonization going on for so long, so we kind of molded together with the Scandinavian cultures as well.
And what was it like growing up in that kind of community?
Well, me, I'm I'm mixed, so I've got Swedish and Sami parents. So it was quite natural, having this mix of Sami and Swedish life. I think you kind of grow into the more political questions and the struggles as you kind of grow up and face those questions.
As you begin to understand them a bit, I can imagine. So when you came to write, it's a beautiful book written in verse all the way through. I mean, what was your idea? Was it something that you wanted to write about your community, or did the story come first and you decided to adapt it in your community?
No, I think for many writers, it's all very intuitive and you don't really know what you're doing, and you kind of find your way. So I didn't set out to write this, it kind of just developed into this story about Sami Swedish life throughout 100 years. And when I found those, the people is the most important thing for me. And when I found these people in the book and they kind of carried these stories with them, it was just a question of following their lives and the melody that they brought with them to give the book a shape and a song.
Well, you obviously achieved that, as I said, described as a lyrical and ambitious verse novel. I mean, how do you get those relationships and how do you put them into a novel and, as you say, reflect what you wanted to reflect in the book?
I think it's just a matter of sitting at the desk and trying to rewrite till you get the thing through. But I think that the lyrical shape, the short stanzas that I work with, and the melody kind of gave me a way to move through a lot of history in a quite effective way, like being efficient and aesthetic in the same time. That was satisfying for me, and that rang true with our yoic tradition that we have, like the Sami, like a singing and storytelling tradition, a lyrical tradition with these very sparse lyrics, and I kind of wanted to put a bit of that into it as well.
It's a very kind of emotionally turbulent book, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. It's, that's what you want from literature, isn't it? You want to be use your heart and your head, and I think, of course, the book asks the reader to imagine a lot of, this Sami world and landscape and experience, but also like these universal feelings of love and loss and oppression and things that we see all around the world.
Yeah, obviously the people are facing a lot of crises, but also a lot of love as well.
Yeah. I think that's in the heart of everything I do.
Yeah, and that's where it comes from, obviously, from the heart as well. And the people in the book, I mean, they're obviously facing a lot of exterior threats throughout what happens as well. Tell us about that side of it.
Well, I think that we have this colonial history in Sapmi with a lot of kind of experiences that we find with indigenous people all over the world, like the church and the state and the schools kind of work together to assimilate the people and try to make them Swedes. So those experiences are, I mean, the literary very interesting and existentially interesting as well. So the book deals with a lot of these questions, but also like the colonial situation of taking the lands, the rivers, where my people have always lived and
thrived.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us why you're here in Paris. There's an evening of poetry tonight. Is it the Swedish Institute, yeah?
Yeah, it's true. It's a reading with me and another Swedish poet, Aednan and we're going to read some poetry and have some music, I think, as well. So it's going to be very...
And do you like doing that kind of thing? I mean, is that the kind of, it's a nice way to kind of meet the audience?
Yeah, I like reading. I mean, I think it's a big part of poetry, you know, the oral tradition. I mean, saying that, I really love reading silently in my head as well. I think that's very, very important. But yes, like performing poetry, I think it's a good way to get it out there.
And finally, that recognition that you've had, I mean, winning the August Prize, a very prestigious literary award. I mean, what's that been like as a writer?
Oh, it's wonderful to be appreciated for your work. I mean, and your work gets through to the readers a bit more. So it's been great to have that.
Well, enjoy the evening later on. As you say, it's at the Swedish Institute this evening, so you can always go along and join it. And I've got the book here in French, Aednan, Terre-Mère, but it's also in English as well. Of course, I'm sure it's in Swedish as well and other languages too, but been translated right across the world. But thank you very much for coming in and talking to us about it today. Linnea Axelsson joining us here on France 24 today. Thanks very much.